Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of Life Groups. I hope that you had a first good week with your life group and that you got to know maybe some of the people you didn't previously know, or you got to know people better that maybe you were just acquainted with. Well, I want to think about a story that I heard, and it was a pastor that was resigning from his position at a church. And he had an older lady from the church come up to him, and she was just sobbing. And she said, "Pastor," she said, "things will never be the same." And he said to her, trying to comfort her, "It's okay. I'm sure the church will find someone, and I'm sure that he'll probably even be better than me." She continued to sob and said, "That's what the last 3 pastors have said, and it just keeps getting worse." Now that pastor, if he wasn't humble before that little conversation, was certainly humble afterwards. We talked about humility in chapter 2 of Philippians. We talked about our culture, and we do not live in a culture of humility. We looked at this scripture, we looked at the example of Jesus in his humility as an example of how we are to be humble, placing others before ourselves, checking our motives, making sure that we let others in front of us in line. We talked about the fact that in order to be humble, we need to be obedient to God, and we need to be a servant to others. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to think about that a little bit since that message. Today what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you read a quote that I printed off for you that I want you to talk about as a group. I want you to share an opportunity in your life where God has worked on you in the area of pride and humility. And I also want you to read a few verses, comment on them as a group, and then I have a scripture that I'd like you to read out of the book of Luke, and it talks about Jesus's words about humility. I hope you enjoy your group today. Have a wonderful time, and thank you so much for stepping out and stepping up and wanting to grow in your faith and in your relationship with other believers. Have a great life group.